It is 2 o'clock in the morning, and you are teetering precariously on the absolute edge of your mattress. Your back is stiff, your blanket has been entirely hijacked, and 80% of your sleeping space is currently occupied by a warm, furry, snoring mass. As you lie there in the dark, trying to figure out how a creature a fraction of your size managed to execute a flawless tactical takeover of a queen-size bed, you probably chalk it up to a simple habit. You assume they just want your body heat, or perhaps they are just being clingy. But you are completely wrong. What is happening in your bedroom right now is not a random bid for comfort, nor is it a display of stubbornness. It is the culmination of a multi-millennium evolutionary contract, a calculated neurochemical decision that your dog makes every single night. In the quietest hours of the darkness, your dog is executing a complex biological ritual, and the real reason they are pressed against your spine reveals something about your relationship that will change how you look at them forever. To truly understand why your dog demands to share your pillow, we have to look past the fur and peer directly into the architecture of their brain. Researchers at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest decided to study this exact bond, putting dogs into functional MRI machines to see how their brains light up in response to their humans. What they discovered fundamentally rewrote canine science. Dogs do not just view you as a source of food or shelter. They relate to you in the exact same way a human infant bonds with its mother. Using a psychological framework known as the Ainsworth-Strange situation, scientists measured 3 distinct behaviors: proximity seeking, separation distress, and reunion calm. The data revealed that 61% of dogs are securely attached to their owners. That is the exact same statistical ratio found in human toddlers. When the world gets dark, quiet, and inherently vulnerable, a securely attached creature seeks their ultimate anchor. When your dog chooses to sleep beside you, navigating the shifting landscape of your blankets, they are not just looking for a soft place to land. They are actively communicating through their behavior that you are the safest entity in their entire universe, a living, breathing shield against the unknown. This security is not just an abstract emotional feeling. It is driven by a powerful, self-sustaining biological feedback loop. In a landmark study published in the journal Science, researchers at Asabu University in Japan uncovered the exact chemical engine that drives this proximity. It centers around oxytocin, often called the bonding molecule or the love hormone. When you look into your dog's eyes, a profound chemical shift occurs. Your dog looks at you, and their brain releases a surge of oxytocin. You look back, feeling that sudden wave of affection, and your own oxytocin levels spike. This elevated state in you triggers an even greater release in your dog. It is a closed-loop chemical dance that deepens with every second of closeness. To understand just how miraculous this is, you only have to look at a wolf. When scientists tried to replicate this experiment with wolves, even those raised by humans from birth, bottle-fed and cuddled since they opened their eyes, the oxytocin loop simply did not activate. The wolves remained biologically detached. But for your dog, just 10 minutes of physical contact with you drops their cortisol levels, actively crushing the stress hormones circulating in their bloodstream. By pressing their body against yours at night, they are physiologically preparing both of your bodies for deep restorative sleep, using your shared chemistry to quiet the nervous system. This chemical wiring did not happen overnight. It was forged in the cruelest depths of prehistoric history. Take your mind back 15,000 years, long before the invention of agriculture, before the first words were written down, before the very concept of a city existed. The world was a terrifyingly hostile place, ruled by biting cold and lethal predators lurking just beyond the flickering glow of ancient campfires. In the darkness, the silhouettes of early wolves watched human tribes, and a fragile truce was born. We know just how deep this ancient contract ran because of a 14,000-year-old burial site discovered in Germany. Archaeologists unearthed the remains of a sick dog buried alongside 2 humans. The skeletal analysis showed the dog had suffered from canine distemper, a brutal, fatal disease, yet it had survived for 5 distinct weeks after falling ill, a feat impossible in the wild. Early humans had spent their critically scarce resources nursing this sick animal, keeping it warm by the fire until its final breath. This was the moment our histories fused. Geneticists analyzing canine DNA have pointed directly to chromosome 6. Dogs carry specific genetic insertions on this chromosome that cause extreme hypersociability, a genetic mutation completely absent in wolves. Humans did not just domesticate dogs to guard camps or hunt prey. We literally rewrote their DNA over hundreds of generations until they were genetically hardwired to need our presence to feel whole. Yet, this ancient arrangement presents a bizarre modern contradiction that sleep scientists call the sleep paradox. Data gathered by the Mayo Clinic shows that, objectively speaking, dogs disrupt human sleep cycles. They kick, they turn, they steal covers, and they wake us up in the middle of the night. By all standard medical metrics, sleeping with a pet should leave you exhausted. Yet, psychological data, including a comprehensive study conducted at the University of Jyväskylä in Finland, reveals a completely opposite reality. Pet owners consistently report feeling more rested, secure, and relaxed when their dog is in the bed. The explanation for this paradox lies in a phenomenon called heart rate variability co-regulation. When a bonded dog rests its body against yours, a subtle, invisible synchronization begins to take place. Your nervous system detects the steady, rhythmic breathing and the lower resting heart rate of your dog, and your own cardiovascular system begins to mimic that rhythm. Your heart rate variability stabilizes, signaling to your brain's amygdala that danger is non-existent. An unfamiliar human sleeping in the same bed does not trigger this deep, primitive co-regulation. It is a biological privilege reserved exclusively for a dog and their chosen human, a literal alignment of two different species' heartbeats in the dark. Because this nightly ritual is rooted so deeply in their biology, any sudden shift in their behavior is a matter of life and death. If your dog has spent years pressed against your side and suddenly chooses to sleep on the hard floor, across the room, or hidden away in a closet, it is never a random choice. This is a critical red flag, a silent cry for help that requires your immediate, compassionate attention. First, it can be the earliest detectable sign of hidden physical pain. A sudden reluctance to jump onto the bed or a preference for cold, flat surfaces often indicates the onset of canine arthritis or deep joint deterioration that they are successfully hiding during the day. Second, if your dog is older, this shift can signal the quiet arrival of canine cognitive dysfunction, essentially dog dementia. This condition affects roughly 35% of dogs over the age of 8, systematically destroying their spatial memory and disrupting their natural circadian rhythms. They become confused in the dark, forgetting where they are or how to navigate the space around your bed. When the nights change, their security shatters, and they need you to step in as their protector. When you look down tonight at that furry creature taking up far too much space on your mattress, you are looking at something far greater than a pet. They did not end up in your bed by accident, and they are not there out of simple convenience. Out of every person on this planet, out of every distinct scent they encounter, and out of every comfortable corner available to them, their biology, their history, and their heart guided them to one specific spot, right next to you. They are there because your heartbeat is their sanctuary and your presence is their ultimate peace. Look at how they have positioned themselves right now, entirely trusting you with their safety while they are completely vulnerable. Drop a comment below and tell me, what percentage of the bed does your dog take up tonight? Because understanding their nighttime behavior is only the first layer of their hidden emotional world, and it perfectly explains an even stranger, more intense behavior, the exact neuroscience behind why your dog stares directly into your eyes when you wake up.